What if talking about porn could actually protect your child instead of sparking curiosity? For so many parents, that question brings up fear. Fear of saying the wrong thing, fear of giving them ideas, and fear of opening Pandora's box. And as an autistic parent who spent years helping families navigate this, I've learned that silence never protects, it just leaves kids confused and alone. So, what if the real risk isn't talking and it's actually staying silent? Today, we're going to dive into one of the toughest conversations you'll ever have, but also one of the most important. Let's start with what's really happening online and why this isn't a problem we can ignore anymore as parents. Picture this: a child searching penis or testicles for a school project, and suddenly they're staring at explicit porn. Happens every day. Porn, it's not hidden anymore, it often pops up by accident. And nearly half of boys see porn by age 13 and almost half of girls by 15. And for autistic and ADHD kids who often spend more time online, that risk is even higher. I remember one mum telling me how she found her 10-year-old watching something shocking. Her first instinct was to yell and grab the iPad, which lots of parents do. But later, she realised that that moment could have been her chance to calmly explain what her child had seen. Accidental discovery moments like that, they're not failures, they're actually opportunities for guidance. But if talking feels so uncomfortable, is it really safer to stay quiet? Parents often think that silence protects innocence, but silence actually hands a microphone to the internet. If you're not talking about it, someone else or something else is. Kids start believing porn shows what sex or relationships are supposed to look like. One autistic teen once told me, "I thought porn was real, like a documentary." No one had explained that it's acting. He wasn't being defined, he was being literal. And that's why our kids need us to explain clearly and calmly what's real and what's not. Silence leaves them confused, and clarity helps them feel safe. So, how do we actually have this talk without shame or awkwardness? The key is to reframe it. This isn't about sex, it's about safety. Explain that porn is made up videos for adults, not real life and not for kids. Neurodivergent kids often thrive on structure. So, outlining clear family rules helps them feel safe. What to do if they see it, who to tell, and that they won't be in any trouble. It's about being factual, not fearful, and being supportive and not shaming. Punishment teaches secrecy, whereas open conversations, they teach safety. And remember, one talk is not enough. These are small, repeated chats that happen over time. But what if you've already found out your child has seen porn? Let's talk about how to handle that next. First, take a deep breath. Your response in this moment matters more than what they've watched. It's about staying calm and curious. So, what made you look that up? Or how did that happen? Or what did you think about what you saw? And explaining that porn doesn't show respect, consent, or real relationships. And then offer safer, realistic ways to learn about their body and boundaries. And you can be factual and stay true to your values, whether they're faith based, modesty, or just simply wanting your child to grow up kind and respectful. The goal isn't to erase curiosity, it's to guide it. Because at the end of the day, silence is a real danger, not the conversation. Look, talking about porn, it won't destroy your child's innocence. It builds their safety because when they understand what it is and why it's not real, they're less curious, not more. When you bring compassion, calm, and straightforwardness, you become the safest person they can come to. And look, you're not alone with this one. Over at Sex Ed Rescue and the Sex Ed Shop, I have resources that are there to simplify the porn talk for you. I've got a crash course on what to do if your kids find porn. And you know what? When my 13-year-old discovered porn, I panicked and I just was so overwhelmed and I didn't know what to do. And I was talking to my husband and he turned around at me and looked at me and he said, "You've got a course on what to do." He said, "You know what to do." And it was like, oh, so I actually went in, did my crash course on help my child seen porn, and it calmed me down and gave me a series of steps to go through for the conversation. It was so helpful. So a bit crazy using my own course to help me in real life. But there's that crash course. And then I've also got one about how to have the first porn talk. And by the time this video is they should be out just before Christmas 2025. I've actually got some illustrated explainers about the porn talk. So you print them out, sit down with your kid with some pencils and work your way through. And they're created for younger to tween to early teens so that you can use the language that you're comfortable with. They've taken me so long to create those, but they're just super, super valuable. Now, we've been talking about porn. So if you're thinking, okay, I know I need to talk about it, but you're worried about getting it wrong, click the video on the screen and I'm going to show you how to move past that fear.